Hey there, beautiful. I believe we are live. Let me just double check. I have gone live the last couple times and not actually been live. So just double checking. Make sure I see my face on here. Maybe. Yes. Okay. Hey there, beautiful, and welcome to today's live stream. So, I want to talk to you about one decision that makes healthy habits actually stick. And this is something that, when it comes to your health and wellness and your lifestyle choices, it can sometimes feel super overwhelming and can sometimes leave you feeling like you don't know anything, or if you get on the bandwagon with something and you go, chug along, and then sometimes you get to the point and you wonder, one, why on earth are you doing this? And then sometimes two, is it working, or it's not working fast enough, or it seems too hard or too heavy, and then we fall off that wagon. So these are three things that will help you change your mindset on these healthy habits and how to actually make them stick. So, one of the first things I want to talk about is motivation. And motivation is one of those things that often falls to the wayside after a few days, a few weeks, or even a month or two into things because it relies on willpower. And when you're looking for a deeper, longer lasting transformational change, one of the things you need to rely more so on are the systems and the habits that you are building and putting in place, and more importantly, building on. Because that motivation and willpower, when you are feeling overwhelmed or feeling stuck, those are the first things to go. And you kind of just throw your arms up to the wayside, and then you aren't able to stay on track. And then sometimes it's hard to get back on track. And then we end up starting over all the time. So, one of the ways to make sure that this is key for you is to make sure that we're feeling in alignment with what is happening, as well as working on implementing some, scientific things that we can actually focus on and make our habits stick and change. So, another secret here is to make sure that you are putting your plan in place and deciding in advance what it is that you're going to do. I know for me personally, one of the things that made a huge difference in my overall health and wellness was having a little bit of a framework to follow. Now, I'm a person, I love freedom. I like to be loosey goosey. I don't maybe sometimes like to commit all the way to something, but one of the things that really helped me was, one, having a loose framework of what I could actually focus on when it came to what I was eating, and then also a loose framework as to what it was that I was going to do for my workouts and what was going to keep me on track. Now, you have probably heard my story at this point, but if you haven't, one of the biggest things and one of the ways I started on my latest health journey, and that was over 8 years ago at this point, almost nine, was I simply just challenged myself to a 30-day challenge to do 100 squats and 25 push ups. And I started exactly where I was with the strength I had, the energy I had, and went on from there. So once you kind of have that little thing that is nudging you along and saying, hey, knock, knock, I'm here. This is something that we need to work on and we need to change. If you can decide in advance what it is you're going to focus on or how you're going to do it, and sometimes this only takes a minute or two to get yourself a mini plan that actually works for you, your life, your schedule, in the way that you want to actually go about this. Because there's nothing worse than maybe signing up for a program or getting on board with maybe what a neighbor or a friend is doing for a diet and exercise plan, and you not really fully believing in it. And then you get into it and you're like, why on earth am I doing this? What on earth am I doing here? So, when you can get in alignment with what it is that you want to focus on, when you're able to decide in advance and get that plan in place, so it takes the guesswork out so that you don't have the overwhelm of spiraling thoughts and that little extra heavy weight hanging on your shoulders when it comes to truly making these shifts when it comes to adding your healthy habits into life, like those two things there are super key. And then one of the things that's super important here, and really the third point that I want to talk about today, is working on something with consistency without overwhelm. And in my world, I like to refer to that as the KISS method. You might remember hearing it growing up or in your life. And it's usually somewhat of the framework of like, keep it simple, stupid. But in my world, the way I like to focus in on it is to keep it simple and sustainable. And that really pulls it down, breaks it down for you so that you can keep it simple and sustainable for where you are right now and also help you get to where you want to go. So change goes so much deeper than just a plan. And if you keep noticing that you keep getting stuck in the same place, maybe the same point, maybe the same place on the calendar, if you're doing a 30-day challenge and it hits 20 days and you're like, all right, rule book out, I'm done, cashing out here, I'm over it, then it's really time to do something different and time to take a different approach here. So know that it's not your fault. Know that this is all happening because our bodies and our minds and our souls are working on patterns that are programmed in our brain, and that is happening without our knowledge and often happened before we ever had the choice to decide that that was something that we wanted to carry. And what's really cool about this is that there are actual scientific strategies and ways to help rewire your brain so that you can create that lasting change. So, with that, you may have heard me start to talk about my 5-day alignment kickstart program. And I'm loving this for anyone who is in a pattern where they need to start to make a change. Maybe they've been overwhelmed, maybe they've been burned, maybe they are just flat out burnout of all the diet and exercise programs because we're drilling down, we're taking out that overwhelm, we're putting a mini plan in place, and there's guidance. I'm there to help hold you. The group is there to help hold you so that you don't have to do this alone and you can truly make those sustainable changes along the way for those healthy habits. And those are the decisions that you can start to make for yourself to really get to the point where some of those healthy habits that you're building and you're working on and that you have been that are kind of in your past and how we can bring them into the front lines here and really work on those. So, I'm opening that 5-day alignment kickstart program here very soon. So I would love to offer that to you. If that's something you're interested, leave a comment below and I'll make sure you get the link. And if you're ready to take this deeper, by all means, let's have a conversation. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay overwhelmed. You don't have to keep living in a life of restriction or quick fixes that never really work. If you're ready to make the changes holistically in your whole life for the long term, then let's have a conversation. No pressure here. Totally free. I just would love to have that conversation with you so you can get on with your life and start to live it. So I hope you're having a great day and we'll talk soon in my next one. Have a good one.